Welcome to the greenhouse. We're just doing a little greenhouse update here. If you've been following us for a while, you will recognize this as the wicking tote that had all the beets eaten out of it by a bunny rabbit earlier this season. And obviously we have made a good comeback. We still have up blue sticky traps that are made out of blue painter's tape with olive oil on them. We still do have some thrips in here, but ladybugs did a pretty good job of controlling them. Unfortunately, they seem to have moved on now, so we're waiting for the other bugs to kick in. Just a little bit of control, I think we'll do well enough. These are beets. I have another tiny little wicking tote that you may recognize this as a roasting pan. There's a video about how we made that. Henry also did a video about how this wicking tote was made. This is an old wicking tote that we had, and all winter this was full of radishes and carrots. And I just harvested, there's one carrot left because he was too little, but I just harvested this out yesterday, and we got quite a nice collection of carrots out of here. Now I just have a few radishes in here I need to replant again. And in case anyone's wondering, this is a thermometer that has the controller in our office, so we can actually see what the temperature out here is doing without being here. This winter I also had a couple of trays of spinach up on these racks here. And we harvested quite a few salads and quite a few meals worth of spinach out of there. So yeah, it was an experiment, but it worked. We had done spinach and radishes and maybe some carrots the year before too, and it did work. So we were determined to kind of upscale it. Next year I will do it again. I think it was really worthwhile, and it was very exciting in the middle of the winter when you have snow outside and everything else, to be able to come in here. And it got pretty darn cold in here because this stuff was actually planted January. Did we plant it? I think. But we were still able to get quite a lot of stuff, and the minute it's even sort of vaguely warm in early spring, everything really kicks in and you get really super early harvests. So this was our big experiment again this year, and yeah, we'll definitely be doing this again. It wouldn't surprise me to see a few more totes come out of it. I decided that the shallow trays that I used were too difficult. They dry out too easy, and if I'm too busy and I can't be out here every day, then they're not a good source. But this is a wicking tote, so it actually has a water reservoir in the bottom of it. As you can see, that little hole that's drilled on the side of it there. And this was just an old roasting pan that we were not using anymore because it was peeling a little bit. So we replaced it. Okay, on to the seedlings. I have seedlings up on these trays, up on this rack here. I have seedlings up here. A lot of these look pretty shaggy, but they'll be fine in the long run. The shagginess is because they have some pretty bad thrip damage on some of the older parts of the plants. This is Gomphrena, also called globe amaranth, and it will have very cool round flowers about the size of a dime to a nickel. Carmen is a red color, and then the others are mixed, so I won't know until they actually have flowers as to what color they are. There are a few tomato plants that have been potted up. They just grew faster than their companions and were outgrowing their little cells, so they had to be potted up. I had planned to pot out more stuff this morning. Didn't happen. It'll have to happen in the next 24 hours or so because, oh, here we go, a ladybug. Go for it, honey. Most of our ladybugs seem to have disappeared. I don't know whether they flew on or whatever they do. There's a few dead ones around here, but not many. But every once in a while I do see a ladybug that's still having a great time. This morning when I came out to check, there was a ladybug stomping around in the beets and eating thrips. So I'm happy with that. We're hoping that we could keep them happy enough so that they would actually reproduce in here. We won't know until, if we see larvae, then we'll know they reproduced. There's still a few ladybugs stomping around in here, and that's always a great thing to see because it was so fun when we released them. You should actually take a look at the video that we put up about releasing ladybugs. It was I was giggling like a little kid. I love ladybugs. To have a zillion of them like that was just a lot of fun. To be, zoom. There goes the ladybug bonking plunking into the ceiling. They're always perennially confused by the plastic house that we're in here. These are the ones that have been potted up, and as I say, it's time to pot up a lot more. So onto the small seedlings. And this is the main seed starting area. Flowers, peppers, tomatoes, pak choi, which is wilting a little bit, it needs to be watered again. Lots more tomatoes, lots more flowers. 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 Can you tell I like flowers? Flowers. Lettuce and candy onions. These tomatoes will go into the hydroponic system, and probably some of these will too, because it's a whole bunch more. This is a whole section here is tomatoes, and some of these cells have 2 or 3 tomatoes in them, so I really need to break those out. And then there's some more of the gomphrena that I showed you over here. Again, we have some of the thrip catching stick things here. This is actually lacewings. I haven't seen any in here, but I'm hoping that they will be coming out. Also, we have the parasitic little mites are in here. So they're leaning up against one of the tomato plants because I know that tomato had thrips on it. So that's what we're doing in here. Lots and lots and lots and lots of seedlings. And it's time to pot up, and I've run out of small pots already. So that's our update for the greenhouse. See you later. Bye. Ding ding.